I wanted to do a quick update. Haven't posted as much as I wanted to lately. The weather's been pretty rough around here. It's been raining and windy pretty much all weekend and a little bit longer. We got 3/4 of an inch of rain, which is a lot for out here in the desert. I mean, what kind of desert is that, right? But that throws a huge wrench, in everything when you're off grid. A lot of stuff gets done outside, and it's not a light drizzle, it's a heavy rain, and the wind is intense out here, so pushes everything back. And then when it stops raining, you got all this stuff to catch up on. So I haven't been posting on YouTube. This morning I was going to do a live video from my trailer, but I couldn't get it to work. I think my laptop is just too old. It kept crashing, and plus the video and audio quality is terrible. We'll see how this audio is. It's a slight breeze, so we'll see. But it's going to be better than the laptop. So I recorded something but scrapped it. So I figure I'd do this little walk thing. It's very nice. Nice day, beautiful day now, so might as well take you on a nice little walk. And I've been it's hard to sleep in the rain and the storm, and it's hard to sleep when the weather is bad. My RV is, it's metal, so when the rain hits it, it's very loud. And the wind is very loud and rocks it and wakes me up at night. So I haven't slept well in 3 or 4 days. So if I look tired in this video, now you know why. But I thought as a topic, I thought I would talk about neighbors. Not my neighbors in particular. I don't want to go down that road. But just neighbors in general. What got me thinking was I was reading that a friend of mine ran into a problem with the permit department. And, whenever that happens, you rail against zoning, and how dare they? Why do they even do that? But all those zoning laws are really all about neighbors and neighbors getting along. And, since the dawn of time, neighbors have struggled and fought. Neighbors fight, villages fight, even countries fight, have disagreements. So the government steps in and sets some rules to keep the peace. And that's what zoning's about. I mean, think if you had a nice little house with your beautiful manicured yard and your swimming pool in the backyard, and your next door neighbor decides to raise hogs, and he's got 120 hogs in his little backyard. Well, you'd be pretty upset. But if he's not zoned for that, you can make him stop. So, my friend wanted to do the off-grid thing like we're all doing, but he was zoned residential, and so you definitely can't do all this residential chickens and you know, living in a little chickens and sheds and other off-grid stuff that we do, it's, I mean, it's a cautionary tale. I think he's going to have to move, but and give up his dream. But you can possibly get those zoning changed, but it's best to just get the right zoning in the first place. I think that's one of the most important things. Yeah, you know, if you look at your land, you know, and things like what the soil is like and can it flood and things like that are important, but first and foremost, check that zoning. And speaking of neighbors, I had an issue a few days ago. Stray dog came onto my property and killed a rabbit. It's not, it's unfortunate, not a tragedy. I got a bunch of rabbits, but you know, it's a problem because he'll be back. The dog will be back. So the dog ran off when he saw me, but it was a pretty fresh kill. So I thought maybe I can save that rabbit, skin it, and use it for something. But ooh, it smelled something terrible. I could barely hold down my lunch. I think, I guess dogs chew up the insides, burst the guts, right, and the intestines when they're killing the animal. So I guess I heard like duck hunting dogs, they train them, right, with special toys not to chew too hard and do that. Anyway, it was the loss of a rabbit. And it was the dog looked somewhat familiar, somewhat not familiar. But just to be safe, I called up my neighbor and I said, oh, there was a dog here. I don't know, you know, it killed a rabbit. I said, I gotta shoot it if I see it again, you know. And he called me back. It wasn't his dog, so good, thankfully. It's a neighbor dog. But, you know, I see this as a problem. I see on the forums, it's always, somebody's always has a problem with a neighbor dog. But it, first you check your zoning and your laws, right? Around here, I called animal control a while back, and we can shoot the dog. You're allowed to shoot the dog. So, and you know, you call up your neighbor and you say, "Oh, I'm going to shoot your dog," right? Those are fighting words, right? You don't want that. So I said to my neighbor, I said, "Oh, I realize these are, you know, this is not a good thing to say. No, you don't make friends this way. But you got to warn the person." I say, "Hey, if it was your dog," and it wasn't, I don't know whose dog it was, but if I met the person, I'd warn him. I say, you know, that's already his 3 strikes. I mean, he was on my property and killed a rabbit. I said, I can't. If I see him again, I gotta take care of it. So please control your dog, type thing. But people get upset, you know, and they imagine it's their little snuggly wump, you know, fur baby pet dog or whatever, schnuggums. But these farm dogs aren't really like that. These livestock dogs and stuff. They don't. Most people have a few dogs, you know, which, you know, they're less. There's less of a bond when you have 5 or 6 dogs, and then, you know, these dogs live outside and stuff like that. It's not a lap dog, so it's you know, if the dog did get hurt or lost or something, it's not as big of a deal as somebody's dearest pet. So that's one thing people have to realize when they read this about dogs and off grid. It's not, you know, it's not that member of the family type thing. And then 2, I mean, gotta control your dog. I mean, you like to put that responsibility on somebody else, right? You know, it's hard to keep a dog in the house or on a chain. It complains, or fences are expensive, so you like to make it your neighbor's problem. But I mean, you can't do that. This neighbor relationship works both ways. You gotta take care of your dog. You know, prevent the problem before it happens. So I don't know. We'll see how it turns out. But I mean, if I see the dog again, I'm gonna take care of it. But hopefully I never see the dog again. And that's it. You can see it's a beautiful, beautiful day today in the 70s. You know, spring is here. It's still raining though. I'd like to get work on my house, my foundation and stuff, but it's pretty muddy still. It's kind of mucky. And then I have to I worry about, you know, if I buy concrete, I don't want it to get wet. It's been raining a lot lately, so I'm trying to work that in. I planted some tomatoes just from seeds I bought from a store, some Roma tomatoes. Put the tomato on my sandwich and pulled out the seeds and saved them. Put them in my little seed tray. I have one of those little warming pads and stuff, but they use a bit of electricity, so you leave that on 24 hours a day. Mix that with some cloudy days. I ran out of power again, so, but the seeds are sprouting. About half of them just barely peeked through the surface, so we'll see if they survive. As I was saying in my other video, I tried sprouting them way too early. With my situation, you know, sprouting them in early March and stuff, plants won't survive. So, you know, last frost should be in a couple weeks. Maybe one more cold day here. So I'm gonna keep it inside, but it's about time. So hopefully the tomatoes grow. We'll see. Fingers crossed. I might sprout some peppers too. I bought some Anaheim peppers, and we'll see if those sprout. I ate the peppers, saved the seeds. So last year I bought a bunch of seeds from a couple different seed vendors and stuff, and gosh, very few of them sprouted. You know, they're expensive, $5 for seeds, and you get 10 seeds or whatever. Whereas, you know, I buy one tomato for a couple of cents, and there's 50, 100 seeds in there. So if I can grow it from supermarket stuff, I will. But especially until I'm certain it's going to succeed. So, and that's it. Just a little checkup. Hopefully the weather keeps up. And I'm going to try to keep posting. It's been, like I said, I'm playing catch up and trying to build my and advertise my online store and all of that. So I'm focusing on that, juggling a lot of things. So I just wanted to touch base with you all, and I'll see you in the next video.